Hey, Trail people, you're listening to the Trail Network podcast hosted by Rachel Drake, Leah Yingling, Hilary Yang, and myself, Katie Asmith. We're here to celebrate the community connections and untold stories within trail running. And today you have Hilary and myself on to chat all things what's going on in our life. It feels like there's lots of energy happening in the world right now. Hill, how's it going?
I know, right? Well, February, we got through January, you guys. We survived January. It felt like the longest month ever in so many ways. And Katie, it was fun. I listened to last week's episode with Tabor Hemming while I was out on my run this last weekend, and which was really great. And you did an awesome job. And it was really, like fun to be on the other side of it and hear you guys just chatting about Tabor, learn about her. But I also really appreciated just what you said and taking a minute to reflect on what's going on in the world right now and recognize that we all just need a few extra hugs right now. And I think, reminders to be gentle and kind with each other, to spread love, to just like be a positive force in the world wherever we can is always appreciated. So I just wanted to say that. And if you didn't catch last week's episode, it was awesome. And it's fun to be back here with you. I feel like in 2 weeks, so much happens right now, especially like now that we're through January, it feels like the year is gonna pick up really fast, right? Do you have that?
Yeah, big
I'm like, "Oh
time. I
god."
mean, let's be real. Like our country is falling apart and it's terrifying and it's horrible and there's not a lot more we need to go into there except that yeah, I think talking to Tabor last week felt like such a breath of fresh air. Like I got off that podcast and I was like, I love that so much. And I think that's why we do this is to have those connections and have those kind of long chats with people. I mean, I know Tabor. I think of her as a friend, but I didn't know what she majored in college, right? Like it was fun to really kind of dive deep into people's story and how her and Eli met and just having those, I don't know, long form conversations is just I guess for me in my life, and I'm a crazy, all over the place, chaotic life with two little kids and life, work, all the things. And it just feels nice to take a minute and chat and connect with people. So yeah, I really enjoyed that conversation. So thanks for listening to it. And hopefully gave you some beta because you are going to be commentating at the Black Canyon 100K. So
Totally.
fun. You and
It's
Leah.
funny. I know, I was listening and I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
take notes,"
right?
you know?
I didn't even realize that you guys were commentating until recently, and so I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's perfect." We need to start commentating, like, talking to more people from Black Canyon that are racing just so that you can get some info for the commentating side.
Totally. I know, I'm super excited that Leah and I will both be out there, and we'll definitely have more on the pod about that, and yeah, it's, like, kinda fun right now. I feel like I'm in a lot of conversations and planning for the next few months, and all of a sudden, you go from feeling like you've got so much time to do all the things, like, guys, I've been dreaming of this, like, season where I have time again, and all of a sudden, I feel like it's
Oh,
gone,
no.
and I barely even settled in, you know?
Back at it.
Like, "Oh, no,
You
no,
did
no."
have a couple weeks. I remember catching up with you, and you're like, there's a lot on the like happening, but I've also heard some no's, so I'm just sort of in this waiting limbo. And it is sort of fun when things start falling into place and you can kind of start to plan the year a little bit more.
Yeah,
Okay, do you want to
totally, and
give us some hints
yeah.
about what you're working on or what's
I mean, well, many, many things, and some of them, again, I'm the worst. I'm like, "I'm doing this,
gonna
and I
talk
can't
about
talk
it?
about it yet." But, I will say lots of fun stuff coming up. Corinne Malcolm and I are meeting weekly now about the Here for the Women's race, just year and, like, what it looks like, and that was one of my goals coming into this year was I mean, it's purely volunteer, guys. We've never made a cent off of it. We've done everything for free because we love the movement and the cause. But this year I do want to grow it and find new ways to like leverage brand partnerships and just like keep making it a thing. Last year we actually like trademarked internationally, which felt like a real like adulting move. And we're now licensing in triathlon, which is really cool. And just like, yeah, brainstorming about more ways to take something I think that just had such organic growth and then like continue that momentum, come up with the next round of grants and the funding around that. And just like, yeah, so it's super fun, and that's, like I love Corinne, so it's great. We get to, like, start our Mondays off with a little, like, life update and then work update, which is awesome. And, like, it funnels into so many of the things that I'm working on as well, like, obviously with Raise the Bar coming out
That's your
soon
film.
and
That's the
getting to,
film.
like that's the film, yes, that's the film I made about Western states and the women there, and that's gonna be rolling out, in the next few months, like, more towards Western States Memorial Training Camp weekend and Western States itself, and just, like, trying to get the hype going for all the women out there running, and I just, like, love all that. So it's fun how these things all go together. Yeah, the Black Canyon commentary. I think I'll be at Cocodona as well, which is cool, just sorta, like, locking that stuff down, but, like, I really enjoy just being out there, and it's actually fun, like, I ran into a lot of people last year that were like, "Oh, I heard you on this one or that one," and you sort of forget, like, we can all tune in from anywhere, and in a sense, the, like, live broadcasts have really brought the sport closer in a lot of ways,
Yeah, people start to
And
recognize your
you probably get that
voice.
too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
totally. That's fun.
for better
Yeah.
or worse, you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's my cackle." Or you hear all the quirks, you're like, "Oh god, I hate it when I do that." Uh,
Do you ever listen back to
but
yourself?
it's
Do you listen to yourself talk?
I try
Yeah.
not to, I really try not to, yeah.
I know, I had you listen to the
That's why we
tape, and
have
I
an
was like, "Did you
editor.
like it? Because I had fun with it." But I didn't wanna listen to it myself.
Totally. Yeah, shout out to our editor, Emma,
Who
at
listens
Sandy
to
Word
all of
Productions
us.
because she has to listen to it sometimes multiple times, and I'm just like, "I am so sorry."
Yes.
But anyways, yeah, super fun. I've got another film project, that I mentioned last time we chatted that's just getting off the ground, and I'll start filming a little bit for that at Black Canyon as well, put on another hat, which is cool. And then I am also super fun, the guest creative director for a magazine, which I will not say because I don't know if they've officially announced it yet. But, anyways, it's a magazine that's going to be expanding their US presence, trail running, amazing people involved. I am very honored to be part of like the inaugural US edition. And so I've been in a lot of meetings just with editors and illustrators and figuring out the stories and having a blast with that.
Mm,
And it's really fun because I feel like I didn't know that was on the horizon a couple weeks ago, and that's now something that in the next month is going to be really fulfilling and cool and creative. And I feel like really grateful because I think in a lot of ways I just like made space in my life for more
mm.
of this stuff, and then hoped that the universe would show up and like, that those opportunities would arrive, and so it's really
I'm
fun
can
to,
you
like, have a few
you're
things happen.
glowing right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see
Oh,
that you when you talk about this work, it's like
it's
you
my
get so
skincare,
excited.
guys,
This
no.
is your mission in life. Okay, but I'm curious about this magazine and how they approached you and how that came to be.
I've done some collaborations with them in the past. They're mostly based in Europe, and so, I think it's just one of those things where you build relationships, and for those of you listening, it's all relationships, right? And you show up, you do good work, you just like be a person that's trusted that people can rely on. And then when these opportunities come up, it's amazing how that comes back around. And so much of it is word of mouth. It's not something where there's like a announcement board on social media, it's very like thoughtfully done. And I feel really grateful that sort of all of my years of, you know, growing and building into something are kind of paying off. And that's really cool. And it happens a lot, like a lot of our industry is word of mouth. And it
Yeah.
makes sense, right? It's like you don't really have time to take a huge gamble or you want to know like, who you're working with and we're all busy and so yeah, it's really fun when we get these
Well, and then
opportunities
the
and you
people
just have
you're
to
meeting
jump.
here, you're gonna connect in different ways, and it's gonna who knows what's gonna happen from that, and it's such a fun, I don't know, part of life, I guess, is networking once you start a
Yeah.
project and what could come from it too, and it's just fun. So, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest thing I've learned working for myself.
yeah,
It's like you gotta love people, you gotta be able to, just like, yeah, build solid
yeah,
community around your work. And I think because I love what I do, like it all just feeds in together. And I think there's not many people that come into this business for the money. And so really you do probably love it if you're here. Because it's a labor of love. Um, that's a whole other conversation, but, I do think, like, it's really satisfying, like, professionally when that all comes together. Like, this is my 10th year working for myself, guys, which feels like a big step,
Mm.
and, I remember when I left the corporate world just feeling so terrified that, I was making a mistake and that nothing good was gonna come from this whole harebrained thing, and so kind of feels like a little bit of a, survive COVID in the middle of it all, like, feels like a bit of a landmark.
I don't remember you talking about a film in Black Canyon. Am I crazy? I don't know if I was on that pod. Maybe I didn't.
It's a bigger film,
Okay.
but, my athlete will be at Black Canyon, so
Are you able
that's
to
where I
news
will
about it? Do
start
I know about this?
filming. I'll talk about it on the Black Canyon podcast when
Perfect.
we get
Like after. Oh,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. After. Okay, okay. We're going to do a recap of
Um,
Black Canyon and Tarawera the week after. So if you don't know, Black
yes.
Canyon 100K and Tarawera 100K are both golden ticket races. And if you get a golden ticket on one of these races, then you get to go to Western States. And you have to be top 3 at Black Canyon and top 2 at Tarawera in the men's and women's field. And they are both happening on the exact same day.
But with the time zones you were saying,
Yes.
Katie, like, you'll probably be able to
I hope
watch
I'll be able at
Black
least to like
Canyon?
know what's going on. I don't know. We'll see. Well, hopefully, we'll see. I'm having major FOMO because I love our sport so much, and the fact that I'm going to be racing and thinking about my own race while like this mega race is happening in the US, and I've been at Black Canyon for I don't even know how many years. And I'm missing it this year, so I'm just feeling FOMO there, but I'm crazy excited about Tarawera. But the Black Canyon's field is so stacked that golly, I'm like, man, did I
It's
pick the wrong
intense.
race in that regard? Like it's so fun to be a part of the like big group of competition. And but I don't think I did because I really want to be in New Zealand on my 40th birthday is the race, which is so cool.
Is it really?
Yes,
Oh, I
it's
got
just
little
this big full
goosebumps.
circle moment because I
Aw.
learned about trail running while I was in New Zealand on my honeymoon 13 years ago. More than that, 14. How long have we been married? Oh my God. Anyway, um, and I was
Go yell
literally
at
reading
Pete.
Born
How
to Run
long?
in New Zealand, learned about trail running, like took my first step on like to trail run. I mean, I did lots of hiking and backpacking and stuff, but like actually went for a run with Pete. And yeah, came back from that trip like high on life and like, oh my gosh, I want to trail run forever. Didn't realize it was like a professional sport that you could actually like compete in the way that I compete now. And so anyways, it's just really fun to go back whatever years later and being paid to go there, which is wild, and like competing with on the global stage for a golden ticket. So fun. And it's on my 40th birthday. So it just feels like all of these wonderful life events are colliding into a wonderful day. So no matter what happens, it's going to be the best day ever because
Oh my
yeah, it
god.
has to be because it's my birthday. So
I am
yeah,
excited, Katie. This is fun. There's more layers
yeah,
to this than I
yeah.
realized. Before we go into Tarawera, just side note on Born to Run, because I feel like that was the book that started so many of our journeys into trail
Kind of
running.
embarrassing.
I had the same thing. I read it and I just like put on my random, I got the five finger
Same,
shoes. I got really into
same.
those. Oh my God. One of my more embarrassing cringe moments, you have those moments where it still makes you kind of cringe. I got so into it that I was run commuting to work when I worked in the corporate world, and then I would wear my five finger
Like
like
on the
salamander
concrete.
shoes. No, I'd wear them in the
Oh,
office, like with my dress pants under my desk, and I still die a little bit
I'm
thinking
dying
about
right
it. And I
now.
would pat
Oh my
around the
gosh.
office in them looking like a lizard. Like it was
Just to
just
like
terrible.
spread out your toes.
I just thought, yeah, it was efficient and I was just gonna live my best, like, connected to the earth life. Like,
Oh,
I
I
don't know
love
what I was
that for
thinking, man. I got
you.
shin splints immediately. Like,
You know what?
anyways, guys, I don't know why I told that story. I'm like bright red right now because that was so
I
embarrassing.
uplift you. I am
Um,
so,
Thank you.
it also shows how influenced we are like, by the
Yes,
content we consume,
so much so.
right? I mean, you read this book and I'm
Yeah.
like, it changed my life.
Well, yeah, totally, and I
Yeah.
remember everyone I knew that read it went and bought the minimalist,
Oh,
like, just paper thin
then everybody
shoes.
got
Of
hurt.
course, like, none of us are, like, accustomed to that, so everybody got hurt, but, like, there's very few books I've read that literally propel me off the couch and outside, so I just wanted to, like, give a shout out because I do feel like in so many ways that book was very
In
instrumental.
so many people's lives. I mean, it's like a generation shift, right? Where it's like, oh, I was a part of the Born to Run era.
Yeah, totally, yeah, it explains a lot,
Yeah.
guys, don't worry
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Took me a while to
If
recover
you
from it,
haven't read
but
it,
here
you
we
should
are.
probably read it. But I'm sure you've all read
You
it.
should. It's a rite of passage. I might have to read it again one day just to bring back that
Oh my gosh,
feeling.
I should read it
Baby
while in New
Hilary.
Zealand.
There you go, take it on the
We so
plane.
we so Pete and I, we had a camper van. This was our honeymoon. We had a camper van. Oh, he just brought it. Oh my god, you're so wait, is our plane tickets in there?
Oh my gosh. Okay, for our listeners, Pete, Katie's husband, just dropped in with her
Oh
copy
my
of Born to
gosh, I didn't
Run,
even know you could hear me. This is our boarding
and
pass. What year was it, honey? I don't even know. It doesn't say the
yeah,
year.
she needs to know to
Oh,
remember her
2014.
anniversary, Pete.
Or he doesn't know either. 2014. Oh yeah, yeah, because we were married in 2013. Okay. Anyways, our listeners, this is the book.
Yep,
We are
that's
not
it.
sponsored by this book. I actually saw
No,
Christopher McDougall. Uh-huh. I
McDougal.
saw him at a panel thing, and I went up to him and was like, "Thank you." And I remember being like, "Wow, I'm one of millions that have said that." Yeah,
Yeah, but super
fun.
fun. So, okay, so you decided on Tarawera mostly. Well, it sounds like for a few reasons, but, like, one of them was to go back to New Zealand to take the family to, like, make a bigger trip out of it beyond the race, or did that kinda come out of the, like, "I'm gonna go do this race," and then it was like,
I
"Let's
mean,
all,"
it was
like
I'm ticket hunting. Which
yeah,
I think some people are like, "I don't wanna go ticket hunting," like, it's always like, Western states is always on the calendar, like, I wanna do something different, and I'm like, "No, no, I'm a loud and proud ticket hunter, and I am
yep.
well,
I love
that
that,
is why
Katie. You're willing to put it out
I'm
there.
going to get the
Yeah.
ticket, that is my intent, and if I don't get it, it's still my birthday. So there you go. But I decided I honestly didn't know the date of Black Canyon, so it kinda worked out that way. I remember looking at the dates for golden tickets, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Tarawera is on the 14th." And I was like, "That's my birthday. Oh my gosh, Pete, it's in New Zealand. Like, this is all for sugar." It was just this beautiful moment. And then to later find out that Black Canyon was also on the 14th, I was like, "Oh, that would have been much easier and cheaper to just do that." But it's a really, really big feeling to be like, "All right, we're going back, big full circle, just coming in." What is it? Fire horse? We're the year of the fire horse, 2026. Feels like that kind
I
of
think
energy
so.
coming in hot. And yeah, so we decided we're going to New Zealand and we're taking the kids. And I'm not going to be a professional athlete forever. So heck, let's do it. Like, let's go. Let's make memories with our kids. Um, and I'm also planning on racing in so in Chamonix this year. So I'll either race CCC so it'll be Tarawera Western States CCC. If I don't get the ticket,
Dude, that's a big year.
huge year, huge year.
Oh,
If I don't get the ticket, then it's Tarawera UTMB, which is also a huge year. And obviously like training races in between, whatever. But I've never raced in Chamonix. So like either way, I'm really excited about that because I've been to Sham doing media for I don't know, 2 or 3 years, 2 years. And so, but I've never actually raced because I was injured. So I'm like, we're doing it. I'm bringing the kids to New Zealand and
well,
France. We're just living large. We're doing it big this year, my 40th year. I'm pumped. So
I
yeah,
feel like I have flashbacks of you, like, crutching around
you
Chamonix.
do. You
Like,
do.
you were very much not running the last few
I remember,
times.
well, I was in an ortho boot the first year, and I remember Pete and I rented because I've been to Chamonix 3 times. We went when it wasn't during like UTMB week one year. Anyways, but like just to train. But the other 2 years during UTMB week, Pete went one year and then I went on my own another year. And both for media stuff, but it was like working with Free Trail. And yeah, I just remember I was in an ortho boot. I was like on a knee scooter. It was just
You were on the
yeah,
scooter. Yeah, you were
good.
scooting.
Yeah. But now I'm all healed up, so ready to rock. Life's crazy. When you're in the midst
Yeah.
of an injury, it feels like it will never end, and it felt like that at the time. So anyways, this feels like a really big year for me where I'm like finally I'm going to race in Chamonix. I am so determined. And either race, CCC or UTMB would be incredibly fulfilling. And I hope I'm racing Western States. And if not, then I'm going to have the best time ever in New Zealand and we'll be a part of Western States in a different capacity. So, um, whatever. I'm pumped. But I did want to talk a little bit for our listeners to talk about what I think about when I'm heading into a race. I thought that might be
Yes.
valuable. Um, this is a international race, of course, so it takes it to an extreme in the sense of you need to pack everything. But a lot of races you go to, you have to pack for. Like you don't, it's not in your backyard. Um, so I wanted to kind of talk through what sort of the things I think about. Well, the first thing I think about for sure is weather. I think about that from the very get go. Like when I sign up for a race, notoriously, like what historically, what is the weather of the race? And um, we're 2 weeks out now
And what
from
is it?
Tarawera, and
Yeah, what is it for
it's saying
Tarawera?
75 high and 60% chance of rain. 60% is pretty significant.
Okay.
Um, so I'm thinking it's probably going to feel hot and humid. I am coming from the snow, lots of snow running, but also driving to 45 minutes south to get on dirt a lot, um, probably 4 days a week. So I'm on dirt often, but a lot of treadmill too, and a lot of snow, packed snow, and it's cold. So that's going to be
And
interesting. So I'm
dry.
doing a lot of sauna. But I think one of the big things I'm thinking about, and actually Ryan Montgomery, when he came over to my house a couple weeks ago, mentioned this to me because he raced Tarawera, and he was coming also from the winter, and he said, I thought it was great advice. He said, make sure you're training your gut for the amount of volume of fluid because I'm coming from a cold weather, and so I'm drinking to thirst in cold weather, but I'm not drinking to thirst in for heat,
Mm.
right? So I just need to make sure. So he's like, over hydrate on these runs, even though you feel like you don't need it, just prep your gut. And so I've been doing that. And I think that's hopefully going to be helpful. But anyway, so the first thing I think about is weather. I think it's really like crucial, obviously. But that I definitely think about sauna, heat training, when it pertains to heat. And then also I think about gear regarding the weather. So rain, 60% chance of rain. I am between two different shoe choices. And so I'm like, which one's better in water? Which one's better in mud? Which one's, going to be more breathable? Like which one's, going to have better grip, but is also super fast. So it's just sort of trying to think about gear wise. And then also thinking about ice. So I did reach out to Lottie Brinks and Helen Muno Faulkner, two of my teammates at Hoka, and they both raced it last year and found out that there's tons of ice at the aid stations. But that's like really critical because I can have crude aid stations and have ice, and I will definitely bring an ice bandana because 75 is very like anything above 65, I'm icing myself now. That feels hot with the amount of energy I'm putting out racing. So I will definitely bring an ice bandana and will be like dousing myself for sure. And it was really helpful to reach out to teammates to say, okay, like there's ice at every aid station. So those are two big things that I think about.
Yeah, it feels super important just with the humidity. Like, I just want to like emphasize that, like 75 with 60% chance of rain is humid,
Uh-huh.
and like the races I've done, like in Thailand, that one nearly destroyed me. And you just need way more salt, way more fluid. I think that's a great tip by Ryan. Just like, cannot emphasize that enough. Like, you come from dry, like Mammoth is dry. Every time I go up there, my lips get chapped and it's just like can't get enough like water. So I feel like you're used to that, but humid is another story.
Yeah,
So
and it's an unknown, right? And there's no way I will really be able to have that perfectly dialed just coming from where I live. So you do the best what you can do. You try and prep your gut, and fingers crossed, sort of a thing, But you do what you can do, but you definitely think about it. And I think some people don't think about it, but I'm very highly aware that I am not prepared for a humid environment and like I'm not able to train in a humid environment. So, and it's been really cold here, like, 30s, 20s. Today was really nice in Bishop. It was like 45. So I haven't run in
wow.
shorts in months, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, that's definitely an unknown, and I love hot weather, and we'll see. I've always been able to perform well in hot weather, but again, it's back to the gut. And I've talked about here with my gut issues. I was diagnosed with SIBO and had the antibiotics and blah, 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 and went through all this. And I've done a huge cleansing of my nutrition products. I am using a ton of Precision Fuel and Hydration, for the record. Love them. Thank you for sponsoring the pod. I should give them a big shout out
Mhm.
because I am using their salt caps for sure, because after listening to Free Trail's Beth McKenzie episode, I am terrified of anything. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't look at my salt caps to make sure those are safe for sport. So if you haven't listened to that episode on Free Trail, go give it a listen. But Beth McKenzie had a trace amount of a banned substance in 2016 from a salt cap. And that terrifies me. So I was looking at my salt caps and I'm like, oh my God, those are not safe for sport. So now I will only be using Precision Fuel and Hydration's salt caps because they're safe for sport. And I am terrified of anything happening. So yeah, and I will be using a lot of their gels and also their chews as well. So it's exciting to have something that actually feels really like, okay, that feels really good, that sits really well, and that you can depend on it. So but of course, you don't it's hard to plan, and you have to plan because you show up at your crew, you show up at an aid station, you need to have a plan about how many carbs per hour and how much sodium per hour. Those are the two things I think about. Actually three. The last one would be how much fluid you take in, the goal of actually how much fluid. So is there anything else that you think about, Hill, when you race?
I mean, I think those are the big ones. I think, yeah, like I was just thinking, I had a flashback to last year when you raced Black Canyon, actually,
Mhm.
Katie. And just, I know that was a big part of your day not going according to plan, was trying some new stuff and trying to do more sodium. And it's really hard to nail that
Mhm.
formula. And I just wonder if you like just sort of have some thoughts with like everything you've learned in the last little while and how you're going to sort of change the approach, but also it's a lot more humid, it's actually different conditions, and so maybe that approach is more correct for this race,
I
right?
also had bicarb before the race at Black Canyon. I have not used bicarb since. That is not good for my gut. So yeah, I think that really derailed my race. I also don't think I was fit enough to perform the way I was asking my body to perform that day, even though I thought I was. Uh, it's really good that
It was pretty soon
it was
after you came
pretty
back
soon,
too.
but yeah, I think I was, my coach made me feel like I was ready and I wasn't. So I think there was a little bit of that of like, what the heck, like body
Why
go, like
everyone goes so
how
fast?
you're always in the front. Like, how are you like on the third pack chasing right now? Like, what is this? So that was just kind of a hard ego hit. And it felt good to kind of work through that this past year in 2025. And I threw a lot of eggs at the wall and a lot of them broke and some of them stuck. But I learned so much. And that's what's so fun about this sport is that you can feel like you have it dialed and then another race comes and you're like, oh man, what the heck? So I'm going into Tarawera, let me tell you, very humbled. And my ego is very like, I'm going in grateful, stoked to be able to run, and really, really thankful for every step. I'm not injured. And I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways of really this past year. I haven't had any injuries or really any niggles at all. I haven't had to take any time off, which is huge. And this build has been really flawless, to be honest. I haven't gotten sick. I've put in huge miles. I've done everything my coach has told me to do. So that feels really good where I feel like I can really trust that training and I feel way more fit. I mean, when you look at my splits, I'm like, okay, like I'm way more in, way more in shape than I was last year at this time. So that feels good. Like you can actually compare yourself. Like, okay. I texted Pete today and I'm like, I think I'm fit. And then I wrote him, I hope I'm fit. And then he wrote back, "You better be freaking fit." Like, you've been putting so much time in? So, it's like, yeah, it's sort of you kind of are in this place right before a race, and I'm sure a lot of people listening feel this way where you're like, start to question it, like, "Did I am I did I do all those things?" You have to kinda look back at your log and be like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I put in so much effort, so much work," and to trust the training, and it's sort of knowing that the hay's in the barn and hoping that you did enough and also knowing that logistics is a big part of it and hoping that my gut all the work that I've done with my gut in the last 3 months really pays off and that some of my change in nutrition has will pay off.
First of all, it's really cool that you have the data now to be able to compare to last year and
Mhm.
be able to reinforce that you have seen these improvements. And I feel like that's really helpful. And I'm not a big data person myself, but I do feel like as we get faster in the field, you have to rely on data a lot of times because you just don't know who's going to show up on race day and like what their day is going to look like. And so you have to just have confidence that you put in the work and that you are ready and like, like you are
I
fit
know. I'm so
and you can like
excited. Yeah.
quantifiably see
I think
it.
it's that's what's so fun is that you can only do what you can do, right? Like it does help with all nerves when you just are like, I have zero control how anybody else races and their fitness, you
Mhm.
know? I have control over myself and making a move or holding back and trying to pace
Your
myself
attitude.
or and actually fueling the way I'm planning on fueling and hydrating and like that's on me, right? I can control all of those, but I can't control everybody else races and so that just feels really good because you're like I can only do me.
Mm.
But you look at the start list and you're like, "Hell yeah. Like let's go, you guys." Like I hope we all really can throw down and push each other and I mean the CR is Ruth Croft and that's a really really
What is it?
8:24. Um,
Okay.
and
For 100K.
yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty fast. I mean, Tarawera is a very like a fast course, but uh, yeah, I mean, Ruth is the goat, and that's going to be tough to. I'm not trying to break a course record, and maybe there's others on the line that are. So, but that would be a huge stretch for me. But I'd like to get close, you know. And so I think, and I should mention that's something else I look at. Like I looked at Lottie Brink's, I looked at her splits, and I looked at Caitlin Fielder's splits. They both raced last year. Caitlin got second to Ruth. I think she was like 10 or 12 minutes behind Ruth. And so I look at those splits. And so those are super helpful. And it's just a shout out to Strava that when people post, and I always post on racing, I don't really post in training, but I post on racing because I want people to be able to use splits. I think it's sort of a selfless thing we all do when it comes to racing. Like put it out there. Let's all help each other out
Mm.
to plan for these long races. And those logistics really matter. So that's really helpful because I kind of want to be able to be like, all right, like an A day would be Caitlin Fielder's splits for me, and like how do I know that? And we'll see, and obviously rain will change everything, right? And so you can't just go off splits, and I never go off splits, but it's helpful for my crew to have something to go off of. Um, but I did do that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was aid stations. So we don't have the first time we see crew is at kilometer 57. So yeah,
Whoa.
so it's a lot. And actually it's really tough because the nutrition on the course is NAC and I have never used NAC before. And am not planning on using their product. So that takes a lot of like, all right, how am I going to fuel? Like I can start with calories in my bottle because I never drink just pure water ever. And I also don't like to just take salt caps like a bolus of salt with water. I don't love that. I'd prefer if there was mixed into my hydration so that you could kind of sip your sodium and not just take like a bolus. Um, but I think
Yeah.
I might have to because I'm thinking about aid station turnarounds, right? And those transitions are super critical, especially at the highest level of the sport. So anyway, I'm thinking a lot about that and how I will probably plan on bringing soft flasks that have powder in them so that when I get to the aid stations, I can just fill up with water um, and make it a quick turnaround. But I did text Lottie and Helen was like, what are the drop bags situation like? Right. Cause you can get a drop bag, but now I have to rely on the efficiency of a drop bag situation at these aid stations I've never been to, and I don't know how they run. So I don't want to be like waiting around for a drop bag. So, anyways, these are the sort of things I think about really seriously, and it would be much quicker just to fill up with water. So it's worth the weight or the extra like
It's
annoying like holding a flask with powder in it. Um, and the other thing is if I just fill up with water and don't have any powder in it, then that means I have to take the salt caps with just water, and that I just don't like that bolus, like I mentioned. But then also you have to take more gels because then you need the carbs that aren't in your hydration anymore. So either way, you're carrying a lot. Um,
You're doing a lot of
yeah,
math in
it's
your
a
head
lot.
while you're
So
running.
this might be way overkill for a lot of our listeners, but I think it's kind of helpful to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit about how people think about big races and how to run fast and how to utilize the aid stations quickly. And yeah, I think I hope that that helps some people.
It's kind of funny and it's fun. I mean, I don't have a coach. I haven't had a coach for years. And so I feel like I'm always like the odd girl out on the pod as far as like my approach to racing. But obviously, training for Hard Rock last year, I did take it more
You had a
seriously.
nutritionist.
And
You did. Didn't you work with Meredith?
I did.
Yeah.
No, I did. I worked with Meredith, but just I'm saying in
Okay.
general. But last year I really focused on it. And so I ran the Malibu Canyon 50
Hmm.
miler and had a great day, came second. It was a really fun race and I ran fast.
Yes.
But I think
I
like
remember
I
that.
had no crew because Billy ran the 50K and I brought soft flasks with the powder already in them based on Meredith's recommendation. And it really helped, I have to say. And I'd never done that before. So that was the first time where I was just like self crewed, didn't want to deal with like taking things out, pouring them in. So it was already in there. And then I just had the volunteers add water. It worked really, really well. It was great. And so, I just, as a, not elite, but like someone that really had good aid station transitions on that day, I felt really proud of that.
I think
So I
everyone,
feel I feel
yeah,
good
you
about
don't have
that.
to be
Yeah.
elite or professional to want quick turnovers and transitions at aid stations because you're just wasting time. You've put so much into your training.
Yeah.
Like the aid station is for quick in and out. Like that is not a time. I mean, you know what? You know what? Take a step back. Some people love the aid station and a good chat at an aid station. You know what?
Totally.
Power to you. Like at the Mammoth 200 people hung out for hours, right? So like, not everybody needs the fast turnaround.
One of my favorite Katie moments is during Hard Rock when I was like dying to sit in a chair and had been thinking about it for literally hours. And you like met me at the aid station at mile 75 or 80. And you're like, I think we're just going to do like a walk and aid and we're just going to like keep you moving. And I just looked at you and I was like, there's no way I'm not sitting in that chair. You
You
were
were so
so
efficient. You were in and
committed.
out of there. I think like for Hard Rock, like that was amazing. You
It
rocked
was it
that.
was really cute though, because you like I loved your optimism and I was like, that's an absolute hell no for me, Katie. I am going to sit my butt in that
Well, of
chair.
course, Natalie and Kevin, the other ones on the crew, they were like, Katie, it's not going to work. I'm like, well, let's just try. Let's just let's see what happens. Maybe she'll be into it.
So I did
Yeah,
I did love the enthusiasm and I think it just depends on how your day is going, maybe, or how long the
that's
race
right.
is.
That's right. And major shout out to aid station workers because it is all volunteer. And they were out there for a long time helping people through all the highs and lows and all the fluids and all the blisters and all the issues. So major shout out to aid station volunteers. I'm just thinking about if you are trying to do a quick aid station turnaround, these are sort of some of the things we think about. Um, so
Totally. 50K, 50-mile, fast
yeah,
100Ks, like all this stuff, it actually makes a difference. And I do feel like it can be kind of dangerous in a race where you have a lot of aid stations or just, like you can lose a lot of time. So,
yeah,
okay. So the aid stations that Pete sees you at,
yes,
right? Pete's crewing
yes.
you. Okay. So are you doing vest swaps? Like what's your
Yeah,
strategy
so
there?
good question. The problem is there's mandatory gear and I don't have two of everything, so we can't do a pack swap. So I'm going to have to one thought is that it might be easier to put everything like compressed into a Ziploc bag and then just take that out and put it in the new one. But by the time you do that, you might as well have just given me two bottles and out I go. So I
Right.
think we'll probably just use one pack and then just like hand me
And that's
bottles and a
UTMB
bunch of gels
rules.
and out I'll go. Um, so that's sort of the hope. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think this could be a very, very fast race. And if you don't have quick aid station turnarounds, then yeah, it's going to cost you. It could cost the ticket for sure. So, it's something I'm thinking about. And it's something that all of us are thinking about, right? Like for sure all the elites are thinking about it, but I hate that word. All the people that are trying to push their PR are thinking about it. Everyone's thinking about it. And it's just this is sort of my tactics. But I would love to hear what other people do because that always interests me. Um, and it is tough. I do think I've said this on the pod before, things like salt, like I don't like just the popping of the salt. I like to taste the salt because it's very
Mm.
similar symptoms if you're too much salt or too little salt. So you think that you have under sodium, you have too little sodium. So you're hyponatremic. And so you'll just pop salt and then you realize like, oh, I actually have too much salt. And then you're having fluids coming out from all things. So
Hypernatremia.
it's good to taste it so you kind of know if your body's going to reject it immediately or not. I did that at Western States 2022, I think. And I tasted it, the salt, and then immediately threw up. And I was like, okay, well,
Hmm.
I think I'm done with salt. I think we did that. There's like 10 miles left to go. And I was like, well, no more salt. So these little
Okay, that's
cues. Yeah.
interesting to me. Because, I mean, as a nurse, like, you're very science-based, and that's more of a it could feel like a bit of a, like, wives' tale or
Mhm.
just, like, not the scientific approach,
Yeah, but
right?
you can only do
You
you
know?
don't know real time, like there are devices like H drop is one way to monitor your fluid losses and your sodium losses real time, and it's connected to your phone. So I guess you could technically look at your phone and see how much salt you've been losing and like calculate it from the last time you had a salt cap or how much salt you've had in your gels and your hydration. Like it would be too much data overload for me to know that because it's really impossible to really have it perfect. It's not a perfect science. Like every race is going to have different weather. Your effort's going to be different. It's going to be less humid, more humid, whatever. It's going to be completely different. So you can't have it perfectly dialed. So there has to be some art to it. And it's tough because the symptoms of hyper and hyponatremia, too little or too much salt, is very similar. Like you start feeling the same way. So these are the fun things. I get really excited about logistics. I love this part of the sport. I think it's so fun. And just sort of like helps you think about all the controllables because there's so much you can't control. And so if you can sort of think about the problem solving before the fact, and then while you're racing, you're like, oh, okay, I know I've dealt with this before. At Leadville, I took Imodium and I will never take Imodium again because it slowed my GI track and I will not do that again. Things like that where you learn and you're like, oh, okay, now I know. And I will learn things at Tarawera and that excites me. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I learned at Hard Rock to always carry an anti-nauseant with me. Always,
You had
and, like,
ginger.
me and
Did you have
altitude
ginger too? Did you?
I tried ginger, I tried mint. Honestly, nothing worked until I went for, like, the bigger
The
anti-nauseants at
Zofran. Yeah.
Uray and that the Zofran, yeah. But, like and thankfully I had that, but I just didn't carry it with me normally because it wasn't really, like it wasn't something I thought I needed. But now I know me and altitude don't get along, and so that's just, like, what I gotta do if I'm up above 10,000 feet. But again, things like this, sometimes you can't practice, you can't train for every variable. Maybe that's what keeps the sport exciting is it's like you're always a student, you're always learning something new, like
Mhm.
over a decade in the sport. And I'm just like, oh, wow, things I didn't know. And so it's fun. And I do feel like at the pointy end, Katie, as you're chasing a golden ticket, like these micro decisions really add up quickly. There's a lot of pressure, but you just wanna perform to the best of your ability, and you also wanna reflect, like, all the hard work that's gone into your training, Like, it's a culmination of so much, and the sacrifice and the family getting on board with it, like Pete saying, like, "You are fit
Like
enough."
you better be
Yeah,
fit
because he
enough with the
watched
amount of time you've done.
Right.
You better be fit,
Yeah,
honey.
and it's like
He
and I
doesn't mean it
know
like
that
he doesn't
must,
care
like
on the result for the record, like, at all. But, like,
No, no,
he's like,
no.
"Honey, you better be fit."
But I think it's something I've talked to, like, my mom friends about. It's like, there is a certain feeling of, like, I've sacrificed this, or I've sacrificed this time to do this, and so I want the best day, and it doesn't it doesn't have to be the result, but you want the best day you can
Sure,
have, right?
totally.
And that's
Yeah.
just I think
I
all of
think
us
you
want
wanna
that.
finish the race being like, "I race that as fast as I could have on that day, you know? And I dealt with adversity the best I could on that day. And I think it's also fun because everything you do, whether you DNF or whether you have the best race of your life, you're going to learn from that from the next race. So that I love that part of it where it feels like even no matter how the race goes, I'm training for my next race by putting in an effort. So this race, I'm not only just the learnings, the takeaways, but actually the physical like effort of doing it. I'm actually also training for hopefully Western States. I'm also training for or UTMB, right? So it's like I'm putting in effort. Like it's worthwhile to give it your all for the next race also. Even if it's not like you're not getting the result you want. I think about it is it just builds on each other. So, yeah, I'm like really excited. I really need to pack because I leave on in 2 days. So by the time this is out, I will be on a plane, which is
And you gotta pack the whole family, you
well,
got lots of moving pieces here.
yeah,
Okay, do you have a mantra, Katie? Like, do you have something that you tell yourself when you do get into these dark places and you just, like, are trying to remind yourself of, like, being in it? Because like, you can't race for 8.5, 9 hours without just hitting these
yeah.
lows, right? Like, it's inevitable.
I say a lot of things to myself. I'll say smooth is fast. I'll say, this is it. Like when I'm like grinding up a hill
I
and
like
your
that.
brain is just going, stop, 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 right? Like take a breath, like, or whatever it is. And so I'll say, like, I just did this. I had a training run with Rod the other day and we were running. We were having a great time. It was super great. Like I feel like we had a pretty good pace actually. And then the last maybe 6 miles was just this massive climb and he pulled away and I couldn't keep up. And I was just like, man, I need to pull over and pee. I need to stop and adjust my pack. I need to like all the things going through your head. Like, how can you stop? And your brain starts, saying all these
Mm.
things to you, like, just take a minute, tie your shoe, anything to stop the burn. And
Trip.
yeah. And I was like, in my head, just like, this is it. This is it. This is it. Like, this is why you're training. This is why you're here. I really love that because it kind of recenters your why of like the goal is for that feeling. It's going to be really, really hard. And that makes it fun. That's why I'm there. So that's I'd say that's a mantra. Um,
I really love that. I feel like that's very it pulls you back to the present,
yeah,
right? It's like, I feel like no matter how your day is going, and I had this during Hard Rock, I had this moment of like, I just wanna reset, I wanna redo this day. It's not
that's
going the
right.
way I want
Yep.
it to go. But, like, there's a certain part of you that has to just be like, "This is
Yep.
it. This is what I've got today. This is what I'm working with. Here we are, like, be in it, be in the moment." So I do love that. I think that's a good
Yeah,
mantra.
something that taught me at Leadville is that I was trying to push my way through without any fuel. Like I couldn't keep down any calories for 60 miles. It was or 55 miles. And I just was like, it's gonna turn around, it's gonna turn around, it's gonna turn around. And I kept waiting for it to turn around. And then it didn't, but I was like forcing it, like just give it time, it will turn around. Instead of taking a pause at an aid station with my crew and being like, we need to reevaluate. What have I had? Okay, I stopped all salt because I thought my explosive diarrhea was from too much salt. Was really probably from too much caffeine. So, but like we need to talk about this. I need to think about like problem solve and don't just jump to the first conclusion of what you think it could be because it absolutely derailed my race. And so I think there is a part of this being poised or being like I don't know if poised is the right word, but like being reflective in problem solving. Like don't just jump to the first thing that you can think of and like being willing to adapt on the fly if even if that's not what you want. You're like, I can't have any more gels, like my gut's gone or whatever it is. It's like, okay, well then we're going to go to liquid fueling and we're going to all regroup and adapt very quickly and this is how it's going to be or whatever. Like but being able to not just jump to something and be like decisive like no more salt or no more of that gel or whatever it is because down the road you might actually need more salt and you might need that gel or whatever it is. So I think being able to adapt and be flexible is an important part of this sport and not being super like strong willed in the sense of like tightness. I don't know how to describe that, but I feel like that is something when you're racing hard, you can kind of get
Like, it
like,
has
it
to be
has to be
this.
this,
Like,
like,
what
it
else could
must
it
be this,
be?
like, I need this to change, and you're just kind of, like, tight and, like, kind of, like, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, um, yeah, and kinda ground yourself in, like, the flow of it and reminding yourself, like, "Whew," like, "Take a minute," you know?
Mm.
Definitely at Leadville, I was like, "Just get to the next aid station," like, like, kind of rushing through everything, and then it definitely derailed my race, and I think that that is something I never wanna do again, so it taught me a lot. You can't just, like, plow your
Yeah.
way through these races, they're too long. Um,
We learn the most
yeah,
from the races that don't go well,
yeah,
unfortunately, so
yeah. I think finesse,
yeah.
that's another mantra I say a lot. don't know if you've heard that, but I say finesse,
Hmm.
and it's part of that flow idea of like just finesse, like finesse your way through the trail, dance with the trail, like you're one with the trail. Like it's sort of that idea of that. It's not,
Easy breezy cover girl.
yeah, it's not you versus the trail, you versus your competitor, you versus anybody. It's like just like you're one with it all. You're one with your competitor, you're one with the trail, you're one with yourself. You're all
Mm.
connected. Like it's just like a marble in a groove, right? And how to get to that place, you really clearly need to be dialed with your nutrition to be able to have that headspace. But I think that that's really important, and I try and focus on that the whole race. So yeah,
I love that. You're making me miss racing,
let's
Katie.
go.
Oh,
Everybody sign up
man.
for a race. Let's get some goals on the calendar. Beginning of the year.
Right?
Let's go.
Okay, serious
Yeah.
question. Will there be cake at the finish line?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't even thought
I'll
about
put
that.
Pete on the
I'll
spot.
probably be so over anything sweet. Like, I'll be like, "Oh
That's
my
true. Might need
gosh."
to be, like, cake later.
Yeah, like, give me a hot second. I probably won't want to consume anything right after. My buddy Keith from Mammoth is coming out, which is really fun. He's gonna be racing the 50K, and staying with us, like, before the race, and so that'll be fun to have him there. And then, and then my family. So, we'll celebrate. We'll do something. I don't know, but I'm just
See
excited
what
to
your
be
stomach will
alive and
handle.
racing, to be there. I don't know. Maybe there'll be cake. I don't know. I'll be like, "Well, kids, do you want it? Blow out the candle for me."
Totally.
Um,
I'm never good at eating after a race. It always takes me a few hours to just, like, be up for it. After you just shove that cocktail of stuff in your stomach,
yeah.
like, just it's not good.
You're just like, "Give me a hot second," and then you're
Um
starving, right? Um,
Oh,
oh, yeah.
yeah. The next
Yeah.
day. It's always the next
So
day. Okay, so just quickly, like, you guys are staying in New Zealand for how long afterwards? Are you doing anything fun? Are you guys gonna bop around? Like, what's the family
oh my
vacation plan?
gosh. Yes. Well, we're doing what P and I did on our honeymoon. We're getting a camper van. That's like how you travel around New Zealand. We're going to
Cute.
take the kids to the glowworm caves. We're really excited about that because we're actually going to take Liam's birthday is the day before on Friday, the 13th, which is funny, but we're going to pretend his birthday's on the 12th. And so we're going to take him to the glowworm caves for his 12th, for his 9-year-old birthday on the 12th. And then the 13th, they have this big I think it's called the Haka ceremony, like a native Maori, the indigenous of New Zealand, like a fun, festive event that they do a ceremony and dance for the athletes, which will be really fun. I am missing out on the elite athlete barbecue and like get together, but it's okay. I'm gonna be with my kids in the glowworm caves. And then after that, I race, and then we take off for the South Island after that. So um, I'm really excited to take the kids. We're going to do all the things that Pete and I did on our honeymoon. We might not do all of it. Like we might do not do like the ice climbing, and I don't know, maybe we will. We're not really sure. We haven't booked anything. We just have the RV booked or like the camper van booked, and then we're going to mess around when we get there. We did something near New Zealand. It's like you get in this wetsuit and you're in the rapids in a glacier, like in glacier waters, like on this river,
Ooh.
and you have this a kickboard, and you're like, instead of whitewater rafting, we're in a raft. You're basically the raft, like in the water, and you're like flipping and in the rapids, and it sounds kind of scary when you think about it, but it was
I was
epic.
gonna say, is it
It
safe?
was so fun. And I really want to do that with the kids. I haven't looked up the ages for that yet. I haven't really thought too much about it. I'm like, P and I are such easy travelers. We're going to figure it out when we go. But once we're driving, we have lots of time to figure it out and reserve things and whatever. We have a place to sleep and it'll be epic. We're staying one night in
Oh my
Wellington. I'm really
gosh.
pumped about that. I've never been there. So yeah, but the South Island's where it's at. Mount Cook and Milford Sound, and yeah, we'll do a hut walk at some point, I'm sure. So we're only there for an extra week, but we'll make the most of it. So yeah, it'll be great.
Oh my gosh. Well, Katie, I am so excited for you for not just the race, but like I can feel your joy. I can feel your energy is just so good around it all. I think whatever the experience, like, I hope you just have a wonderful day. And like you said, it's your birthday. And so it can't possibly be a bad day. It's got to be a good day. And also, your family's there. And I hope you're just like surrounded by love. And I wish I could also be there, but I will be
You'll
at,
be a Black
I guess I'll be cheering you
Canyon.
on before Black
I
Canyon.
know this
Yes.
is probably the one podcast about Tarawera because everything's about Black Canyon right now. Is so much.
Oh,
Oh, it's
no.
so good. Oh my gosh, that
Don't worry. We will
I'm pumped.
debrief. We want to hear everything how it
I
goes.
think that
So
my
we will
senior
get
year is
that.
gonna be pretty epic. Just saying. I hear there's
Yes.
wallabies on the course. I'm gonna see some kangaroos. It's like I
Oh,
know. I'm really pumped on it.
honestly, I've never been to New Zealand. It's on my bucket list. I think you're gonna have an incredible time.
I actually
So
don't know about the
I'm
kangaroos. Like,
super
are there
stoked.
kangaroos in New Zealand? I don't know.
I don't know, man. You could tell me, and I'd be like, okay.
I actually don't know that. I definitely know there's wallabies
uh,
because Helen told me there's lots of wallabies. But, anyways,
I just know there's a trail in New Zealand called the Hilary Trail, which I've always felt like I should
you
run.
should. It's named
I
after
think
you.
it's named after Sir Edmund
No,
Hillary,
no.
but like it's fine. And people always spell my name with two L's anyways, and so it's my trail. Anyways, I'm gonna run it one day.
That's funny. I went when we were in Mount Cook. There's this massive statue of Sir Edmund Hillary, and it's just like funny because you're, I don't know.
You're like, yeah, we
Yep,
get
yep,
it.
you're
Yep.
here. We got it. Very cool. But yeah, have so much fun. I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm gonna be next week.
You're gonna
Juliet
be
has an
gone.
awesome guest coming on, and then the week after that, we'll do a awesome recap for everybody about our adventures.
All the adventures. Well, lots of love to you, girl. We're all super proud of you. You're gonna have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Start the year off right.
Let's
It's
go.
gonna be great.
We need to give
Let's
a shout out
go.
to Precision Fuel and Hydration. They are a sponsor of the pod. I will be using them a ton, like mentioned, during the race, which will be I'll let you guys know how it goes, but I'm very confident. So that feels good to at least have one controllable dial finally.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
very grateful for all their
Yeah.
support for all of our nutritionists. We're ramping up our adventures. You can go to their website, precisionfuelhydration.com, and use the code TTMP15 for 15% off your order, which really makes a difference, you guys. If you use the code, it shows Precision that you're listening to the pod, help support us, help support them. So
Use
thanks,
our code.
guys. Thanks,
Everybody
Katie.
take a big deep
Yep.
breath. Relax the shoulders. Go out into the world with kindness to yourself and others, and you are doing great. And let's live with compassion.
We're doing great. Yes. All right. Love you, girl.
Bye.
Chat soon.